chosen once. From the very beginning, there was no randomness in your existence. You weren't just placed here as an extra in the background of someone else's story. You were chosen, specifically designed, intentionally crafted, with something inside of you that no one else carries in the exact same way. The second you took your first breath, the entire universe made space for you, because you were meant to be here. And yet, the world will do everything in its power to make you forget that. It will tell you that you're just another number, just another person going through life like everyone else. But deep inside, you know that's not the truth. You've always known. There have been moments, small flashes of realization, deep gut feelings, undeniable signs that have whispered to you, telling you that there's more to your existence than just surviving. Think back. Think about the times you felt something pulling you in a certain direction, the times when you knew, without logic or proof, that you were supposed to go a different way than everyone else. That wasn't just a thought. That was the truth trying to surface. That was the confirmation that you were never meant to live an ordinary life. If you look at history, at people who have changed the world, at those who have left an impact so deep that their names will never be forgotten, they all have one thing in common. They knew. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't need external validation. They recognized the power of their existence and acted on it. The difference between them and those who live a life of regret isn't luck, isn't resources, isn't privilege. It's understanding, it's awareness. It's the decision to embrace who they are instead of running from it. And that same choice is in front of you right now. You might not see the full picture yet, and that's okay. Most people don't. Most people spend their entire lives searching for something they were born with. They chase external things, hoping they'll find purpose in money, in titles, in relationships, in status, but none of that will ever fill the space that was designed for something bigger. You don't need to chase. You don't need to force. You don't need to become something you're not. You just need to recognize that everything you've been searching for has been inside you since the beginning. It's not about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you are. Strip away everything the world has told you to be. Take away the doubts, the fears, the limitations. What's left? The real you. The unstoppable, undeniable, unshakable version of you that was created with purpose, with a mission, with something unique that no one else can replicate. That's the version of you that the world needs. That's the version of you that was always meant to shine. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. It's not enough to just know this. You have to act on it. Awareness without action is wasted potential. You can sit here and feel inspired, feel motivated, feel like you're ready to step into your power, but if you don't do something about it, nothing changes. You can't wait for the perfect moment. You can't wait for the stars to align, for fear to disappear, for everything to feel safe. That moment will never come. The only moment you have is right now, and it's more than enough. You were not put on this earth to blend in. You were not placed here to follow the same path as everyone else. You were not given the unique energy, perspective, and talents you have just to waste them. But the world is designed to keep you small. It thrives on fear, on conformity, on keeping people too distracted, too busy, too doubtful, to ever step into their true calling. And that's why most people never do. But you are not most people. If you were, you wouldn't even be here right now. You wouldn't feel the fire inside you telling you that this message is for you. You wouldn't have the awareness to recognize that you've been asleep for too long, that you've been playing at a level that's beneath you, that you've been holding back when you were meant to be fully unleashed. Your birth was the beginning of something bigger than you can even comprehend. The second you arrived, the entire course of history shifted because you brought something into this world that wasn't here before. It doesn't matter how small or insignificant you might feel at times. Feelings aren't facts. The fact is, you were born because there was a need for what you have to offer. The fact is, you carry something that can never be replicated. The fact is, the world will never be the same because you exist. Now, the only thing left is whether you're going to own that truth or ignore it. Whether you're going to step up or stay in the shadows. Whether you're going to spend your life trying to fit into places you were never meant to belong, or whether you're going to embrace that you were always meant to stand out. The choice is yours. But make no mistake, your birth was never random. You are here for a reason, and it's time to start living like it. No moment you took your first breath, the world started working against you. Not because it was designed to destroy you, but because it was built to test you, to see if you would remember who you really are. You weren't born confused. You weren't born with doubt. You weren't born with hesitation. All of that was given to you, fed to you, programmed into you by a world that benefits from your blindness. Because the second you forget your true power, you become controllable. You start moving like everyone else, living on autopilot, following a script that was never written for you. It started early, so early you probably don't even remember it happening. They told you how to behave, how to think, how to react, what to believe. They told you what was possible, what was impossible, what was realistic, what was a dream. And every time you accepted their words as truth, a piece of you started fading. That fire inside you, it didn't go out. It was just covered in layers of doubt, fear, and limitations that were never yours to carry. Look back at your childhood. Look at how free you were, how fearless, how unapologetic. You didn't question whether you were worthy. You didn't ask for permission to be yourself, until the world stepped in and told you otherwise. It taught you to dim your light, to stay quiet, to fit in, to follow the path that was already paved. And the craziest part? Most people never break free. They spend their entire lives trapped in a version of themselves that was created by someone else, but not you, because something inside you has always resisted. That's why you've felt different. That's why you've never fully settled. Why you've always had that feeling that there's more. Because there is. And the fact that you can even recognize that puts you ahead of the majority. Most people don't even get to this point. Most people are so lost in the illusion that they never question it. But you've always known, even if you couldn't fully explain it. Think about all the times you felt out of place. All the times you looked at the people around you and thought, this can't be it. There has to be more. That wasn't a coincidence. That was your true self trying to wake you up. That was the part of you that remembers who you really are, trying to break through the conditioning, the programming, the lies you've been told about yourself. The world made you forget, but it never had the power to erase the truth. It could only bury it, hide it under layers of responsibilities, distractions, and fear. It convinced you that your dreams were unrealistic, that your vision was too big, that your gut feelings were just imagination. It trained you to doubt yourself, to seek approval, to question your own worth. And you went along with it, not because you were weak, but because you were never given another option. But now you see it. Now you feel it. Now you know. And once you know, you can't unknow. You can't go back to the version of yourself that was asleep, the version that believed the lies, the version that accepted less than what you deserve. Once you wake up, you realize that everything you were taught about who you are and what's possible for you was just a story. And the best part? You get to rewrite it. Most people don't even realize they're in a cage because they've decorated it so well. They've made their limits feel comfortable. They've convinced themselves that this is just how life is, that it's normal to feel stuck, to feel lost, to feel disconnected. But you've always had this pull, this urge, this knowing that you are meant for more. And that knowing, that's the truth. That's the part of you they couldn't reach, the part of you they couldn't reprogram. The signs have always been there, but the world taught you to ignore them. The moments when you felt something greater guiding you, the times when your intuition was screaming at you, the coincidences that were too perfect to be random. All of it was proof. Proof that you were never just another person walking through life without purpose. Proof that you've always been connected to something greater. But they don't want you to see it. Because the second you do, you become unstoppable. The second you remember who you really are, their system loses its power over you. You stop settling, You stop conforming, you stop playing small. And that terrifies them, because a person who knows their true identity, who knows their purpose, who knows their power, is the most dangerous kind of person in the world. They made you forget, but now you remember. And when you remember, you start moving differently. You stop waiting for permission. You stop explaining yourself. You stop second-guessing. You start listening to that inner voice that has been guiding you all along. You start making decisions that align with your destiny, not with the expectations placed on you. You start realizing that you were never meant to fit in, because you were born to stand out. This world will do everything it can to keep you distracted, to keep you small, to keep you doubting yourself. It will throw obstacles in your way, test you, challenge you, try to make you question whether you're really as powerful as you feel. But that's the final test. That's the moment you prove that you're not like the rest. That's when you show them that no matter how hard they tried, they could never fully erase the truth of who you are. You were never lost. You were never broken. You were never without purpose. You were just buried under the weight of a world that was never built for people like you. But now, that weight is lifting. The illusions are breaking. The distractions are fading. And all that's left is you. The real you. The powerful you. The unstoppable you. The version of you that was always meant to rise. Everything about your existence is intentional. The day you were born, the time, the season, the energy surrounding your arrival. It all holds a deeper meaning than you've been led to believe. The world has convinced people that birth is just another event, that dates and times are just numbers on a calendar. But that's a lie. Your birth date is a blueprint. It carries a vibration, a frequency, a unique signature that reveals who you are at your core. It's not a coincidence. It's not random. It's a coded message, and once you understand it, everything changes. Think about it. If the universe operates in perfect order, if everything follows a pattern, if the seasons shift at the right time and the tides move with the moon, then why would your birth be any different? It wasn't just a day, it was an alignment. It was the universe placing you exactly where you needed to be, in the exact moment you were meant to enter this world. The energy of that moment shaped your purpose, your strengths, your natural instincts. And the world has done everything it can to make you forget that. You've probably felt it before. Certain times of the year, certain days, certain environments. Some of them energize you, while others drain you. Some situations feel natural, like you've done them a million times before, while others feel forced, like you're fighting against something invisible. That's not random. That's your energy responding to the world around you, guiding you toward what aligns with you and pulling you away from what doesn't. But most people ignore these signs. They push through. They force themselves into situations that don't feel right. They move against the current of who they really are because they were never taught to listen. But deep down, you've always known there was more. You've always had moments where something felt too perfect to be a coincidence, where you met the right person at the right time, where you made a decision based on a gut feeling and it turned out to be exactly what you needed. That's because your birth date has been guiding you all along, whether you realized it or not. It's embedded in you, it's part of your DNA. It's the reason you feel certain pulls in life, the reason some things come naturally to you while others feel impossible. Think about the things that light you up, the things that excite you, the things that make you feel alive. Those aren't just hobbies or interests. They're clues. They're pieces of the puzzle, reminders of what you were meant to do. And when you align with them, when you stop resisting who you are and start moving in the direction you were born to go, everything starts to click. You stop forcing, you stop struggling, you stop feeling lost because you're finally in sync with your natural energy. But most people never get there. Most people spend their entire lives fighting against their own nature, trying to fit into a mold that was never made for them. They listen to the world instead of themselves. They let society dictate what success looks like, what happiness looks like, what they should be doing, instead of tuning in to the truth that was written inside them from the moment they were born. That's why people feel unfulfilled, why they feel disconnected, why they chase things that never bring them real joy, because they're living out of alignment with who they really are. They've ignored their own blueprint. They've silenced the voice inside them that's been trying to guide them back to their true path. But no matter how far they stray, that voice never disappears. It's always there, waiting to be heard. Your birth date isn't just a marker of time. It's a map. It's a reminder of who you are, of what you're here to do, of the natural gifts you've been given. And once you embrace it, once you start working with it instead of against it, you unlock a level of clarity and purpose that most people spend their whole lives searching for. Everything starts making sense. The struggles, the challenges, the things that never seem to work out, all of it starts aligning when you finally step into the truth of who you are. But this isn't about labels. This isn't about looking at a date on a calendar and letting someone else define you. This is about recognizing the patterns in your own life, paying attention to the things that feel right, the things that come effortlessly, the things that give you energy instead of draining it. It's about trusting yourself more than you trust the world around you, because the world will always try to pull you in a million different directions, but your truth has always been simple. It's always been within you. Most people never get to this level of awareness. They go through life disconnected from themselves, wondering why nothing ever feels right, why they're constantly searching, why they feel empty even when they have everything they thought they wanted. But you're not here to live like that. You're not here to follow a path that wasn't meant for you. You were given a unique energy, a unique purpose, a unique identity for a reason. And the moment you fully accept that, everything changes. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about remembering who you are. It's about stripping away the conditioning, the expectations, the lies you've been told about yourself, and seeing yourself clearly for the first time. It's about stepping into the version of yourself that was always meant to shine, the version that was never meant to be hidden or suppressed. Your birth date holds the key, but you have to be the one to unlock it. You have to be the one who decides to stop ignoring the signs, to stop pretending you don't know, to stop doubting the feelings that have been guiding you all along. Because once you step into alignment with who you were meant to be, nothing can stop you. Not the world, not fear, not doubt, nothing. Because you'll finally be moving with the current instead of against it. And when you do that, when you embrace the energy that was given to you at birth, there is no limit to what you can become. Most people spend their entire lives searching for meaning, wandering from one thing to another, hoping something will finally make them feel complete. But the truth is, your purpose was never something you had to search for. It was never lost. It was never hidden from you. It was always inside you, waiting for the moment you would wake up and recognize it. The problem is, the world doesn't teach people to look inward. It teaches them to look everywhere else. At society's expectations, at what's trending, at what other people are doing. But that's why so many people feel empty. That's why they chase success, relationships, material things, and still feel like something is missing. Because they're following a path that was never meant for them. You were never supposed to follow the crowd. You were never supposed to do what everyone else is doing just because it's safe or because it makes sense to other people. Your purpose is unique to you. It's not something you choose. It's something you remember. It's written into your soul, into the way you think, the way you feel, the things that naturally excite you. That's why, no matter how much you try to ignore it, you always feel that pull, that restlessness, that deep knowing that you're meant for something bigger. But most people ignore that feeling. They convince themselves they're overthinking, that it's just their imagination, that they need to be practical. And the world loves that. The world loves when people silence their intuition and trade it for logic. Because once you stop trusting yourself, once you start believing that your purpose is something you have to find instead of something you already are, you become easy to control. You become just another person following the same script, settling for the same average existence, moving through life without ever questioning if you are meant for more. But you've always questioned it. That's what makes you different. That's why you've always felt like you didn't fully fit in, like the things that satisfy other people never really satisfied you. Because deep down, You know you're here for something specific, something powerful, something that only you can do. And no matter how much the world tried to bury that knowing, it never fully disappeared. That's why you're here right now, why you're even thinking about this in the first place. Because you're ready. Ready to stop pretending you don't know. Ready to stop waiting for permission. Ready to stop ignoring the signs that have been in front of you this entire time. Your purpose is not just about what you do, it's about who you are. It's in the way you think, in the way you see the world, in the things you feel deeply about. It's in the ideas that won't leave you alone, the things you obsess over, the moments when you feel most alive. That's not random. That's your inner compass, pointing you toward what you were meant to do. But most people ignore those signals because they're looking for something more obvious. They're waiting for a sign so big that they have no choice but to believe it. But that's not how purpose works. Purpose isn't something that suddenly appears. It's something you grow into, something you accept, something you step into fully and completely without hesitation. And here's the truth. The only thing keeping you from fully embracing your purpose is doubt. Doubt that you're capable. Doubt that you're worthy. Doubt that you're ready. But doubt is a lie. Doubt is a weapon the world uses to keep people small, to make them second-guess themselves, to keep them stuck in an endless cycle of hesitation and regret. And the only way to break free from it is to decide that you're done listening to it, to decide that you're done letting fear dictate your life, to decide that you're ready to step into who you were always meant to be, no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter what anyone else says, no matter how impossible it might seem. Because here's the thing, when you align with your purpose, everything changes. The way you see the world changes. The way you make decisions changes. You stop moving with hesitation. You stop letting distractions pull you off course. You start trusting yourself more. You start moving with confidence. You start feeling a sense of clarity that most people will never experience because they're too afraid to take that step. And once you step into that level of alignment, nothing can stop you. The world will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way. It will challenge you. It will make you question whether you're on the right path. But that's part of the process. That's part of the test. Because purpose isn't given. It's earned. It's proven. It's something you have to claim every single day, even when it's hard. Even when you don't have all the answers. Even when it feels like the odds are against you. Because the moment you fully commit, the moment you decide that this is who you are and there's no turning back, the universe responds. Doors start opening, opportunities start appearing, things start aligning in ways you never could have imagined. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally stopped resisting. And that's the biggest shift. That's what separates the people who live with purpose from the people who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not intelligence, it's commitment. It's the willingness to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do, and nothing is going to stop me. Most people never reach that level because they're too afraid. They're afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of stepping into the unknown. But the unknown is where your greatest potential lives. It's where your true power is waiting for you. Your purpose isn't something that exists outside of you. It's not something you have to search for. It's who you've always been. And the second you embrace that, the second you stop looking for permission and start moving with certainty, your entire reality shifts. Because when you live in alignment with who you really are, you become unstoppable. You move differently. You attract differently. You impact differently. Most people will never reach this point. They will spend their lives waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to be who they are, waiting for the perfect moment to start. But that's not you. Because you already know. You've always known. And now, it's time to step into it fully, without hesitation, without apology, without fear. Because the moment you do, nothing will ever be the same again.